I don't think it's appropriate for me as a chief or us as a police service to talk about, it's really about community safety. That's what we're going to focus on. And so, you know, people have a right to protest. And what I've learned, and trust me, I've learned it in the last 3 or 4 years, that every time we have a protest, there's very strong emotion tied to it, and there's usually 2 or 3 different sides to that. Some people will support, some people will not, and the police always have to try and find that middle ground, understanding what our role is. And so really it's just trying to understand what the heart of the protest is about, making sure that it's done in a way that's lawful, that doesn't break criminal code, charter violations, provincial statutes or bylaws, those types of things. That's all part of the talk and the investigation that we do, and then really trying to find a way that we can walk through this. And that has very much been the conversation that we've had with Dr. Shahab. I can tell you Deputy Chief Ray had a conversation with Dr. Shahab today. We've had investigators that have been on the phone talking with him numerous times through this and even prior to this happening. And so this is a very emotional issue for some, and so our role is really to try and navigate this in a way that keeps our community safe. But the long-term investigative part of these types of things is definitely something that I think as public, it's not quite as interesting. It's not quite as, they want to see, the public want to see police go in and bust up an unruly crowd, but this wasn't an unruly crowd. They even had their faces covered. It was winter gear, but they had their faces covered. They were in groups that were not contradicting the public health order. And so for police to go there and take some sort of action likely would be putting our police officers offside with what their authority is. We want to live in a community and a society where police are not abusing their authority and not going in and arresting people for no good reason. This is definitely one of those cases. This is a case where we had to go in, we had to gather some information, we had to make sure everybody understood, like everybody in the area understood what our role, what we were doing there. That includes the protesters. We had conversations with them. We've got information about that group of people, names, license plates, those types of things, and that's part of our investigation. So for you to see arrests, or for someone to see arrests happening at a situation like that, it's likely because there is some immediate criminal activity that's happening that causes police to interject.